UFC 329 just ended, and it ended in a brutal way that no one expected. But before we get to that main event that just occurred, let's get into the rest of the fights and what had happened. It was an amazing night before that main event took off. Cody Durden versus Alessandro Garza. I'm cracking up. I'm laughing so hard, to be honest. I'm dying of laughter. I laughed so hard that I almost fell out of my chair because of what just happened. Call me a douchebag. Call me whatever you want. What just happened was so ridiculous. And I knew he was going to come out. I knew McGregor was going to come out in the first 10 seconds and throw something wild. I did not think it would be a flying matrix kick that tears his knee apart. Anyway, Cody Durden versus Alessandro Costa. Called it. Somewhat. Costa wins round 2 submission. Just like I thought, Durden could not impose his will whatsoever on Costa. Costa wasn't doing all that much, to be honest. They were touching each other at range in the first round. Durden definitely the busier fighter, landing some volume on Costa. And then halfway through the round, a small exchange happens, and you kind of see that Costa clearly has more power. A couple more nice shots from Costa. Another little exchange. Costa clips him. We go into round 2. Again, Cody more active. Definitely the active fighter in this fight. He's feigning. But then he gets caught by overhand right. Not too damaged. Durden goes for a kick. He falls down. Costa gets on top. Throws a couple shots. Gets a body lock on him. And just gets the elbow under the chin. Right around the neck. Rear naked choke. And that was it. Costa wasn't all that active in this fight, and it might hurt him going forward, but he's powerful for flyweight, and he's got amazing jiu-jitsu, and that's what happened. So I predicted late round 1 KO. He ended up getting the round 2 submission. We move on. Ryan Gandra versus Zachary Reese. It was so quick. It was so easy. I told you all, don't even think about it. Gandra's going to win. And Reese, because Reese sucks, because Reese is so vulnerable on the feet against a power puncher in Gandra, and Gandra capitalizes, hits him with a, a leaping left hook. He slips and just leaps with the left hook, puts Zachary Reese down, body shots. That's it. I told you it was going to be that easy, and it was. Early round 1 KO. I said late round 1, sue me. That's it. We move on. Farid Basharat versus John Garza. Amazing fight. John Garza's game. He's going to be in the UFC, no doubt. He's an amazing fighter, and he gave it all. He gave it his absolute all against an undefeated Farid Basharat here. Touching each other on the feet in the beginning of this fight. Basharat lands a couple nice calf kicks on him. You can tell it hurts Garza. Starts compromising that leg a bit. Lands a takedown in the last minute of the, lands a takedown in the first minute of the fight. Sorry. Got the back. Smooth transitions. Garza's reviews. Jesus. Garza is reversing. Farid works up, gets his own takedown again. That's round 1. Round 2 starts, and it's more the same thing. But Garza, this whole fight, the story of this fight was that Garza was game everywhere that Basharat was, but he was just one step behind. Garza was keeping an incredible pace on Basharat, to be honest, was even kind of breaking him towards the later end of the second round and third round. But Basharat did well, landed a couple other takedowns that he needed to, especially in round 3. And that kind of won him the fight, man. But Garza defended like 14 out of 18 takedowns, I think. The calf kick was definitely something that Garza kind of needs to work on, because that did compromise him a bit. But Basharat did good, man. He fought it out. And Garza was just one small step behind. I thought he was going to be multiple steps behind. He was just one small step behind Basharat. But he's an amazing fighter, and he's going to be good. He's a prospect. He's 23 years old. We'll see what happens moving forward. Basharat said he tore his meniscus 3 weeks ago, which is incredible if he did, because he looked decent. I think he should stay in the UFC. It was his last fight of his contract. I think he stays in the UFC. He should stay in the UFC. We move on. Damian Pinas versus Cesar Almeida. Nasty KO. Nasty KO. Cesar Almeida looks like he's going to win this fight by just outclassing Pinas on the feet. You know, Cesar Almeida's a world-class kickboxer, and Damian Pinas is still young. He's a good kickboxer himself, but it's always a different level of experience. It's looking like that. Pinas isn't really hitting that much. Almeida's staying at range, hitting and not getting hit. And then all of a sudden, near the end of round 1, Almeida's up by like 10 strikes. He's getting grazed by all the shots, you know, nothing hard. Pinas throws a straight right hand as Almeida kicks him, and it lands so flush on the face of Almeida, he gets put out instantly. No follow-up shots needed. Walk-off KO from Damian Pinas. I was saying it's going to be hard for somebody to not get hurt or punched by this guy through 15 minutes, through any time that you're fighting him. And Pinas is just an excellent counter striker, man, with immense power. So amazing, exciting fighter at middleweight to look forward to. And he just beat a world-class kickboxer at his own game with a clean KO. So started off the card strong. And then, of course, my dumb ass picks a lock of the card, one of the locks of the card, as Tracy Cortez. Why I picked a lock of the card as a female fighter, I don't understand myself. I was an idiot. I apologize. Tracy Cortez, the only thing that she had in this fight was being tough. I will give her that. I was saying before, if she got her head knocked off, I'd be happy. I don't like Tracy Cortez that much, but she did stick it out in this fight. She's a really tough woman. And basically what had happened was, and I don't know how this happens, the first calf kick that Wang Cong, apparently is her name, but I'm going to call her Wang Cong. The first kick that Cong throws just demolishes Tracy Cortez's lead leg, and she falls down immediately in the beginning of the fight. And as soon as that happened, you just knew where this fight was going. Literally, the entire fight was Wang Cong piecing up Tracy Cortez on the feet, and Tracy Cortez not being able to do anything because she couldn't shoot off of her lead leg to get any kind of takedowns. You know, Wang Cong, to give her credit, was much improved in the takedown defense, the defensive grappling in general. Uriah Faber and Team Alpha Male's doing a good job with her on that, but Tracy Cortez just could not do anything. She was landing a couple shots on Cong here and there, but it was one-sided. Cong hit her with an illegal knee too, but it didn't really affect the fight, to be honest. And again, to credit Tracy Cortez, she got up right away. There's men in other divisions who wouldn't get up that quick. We move on. Kamaka versus Luke Riley. Another nasty KO. Not as clean as the other ones, but Luke Riley, I said it going into this fight, was going to get a TKO late round 3. He got it done late round 1. He was too fast. He's younger, and he's way more technical than Kamaka. Kamaka was stinging him because Luke Riley, his face is there to get hit. He is not all that technical or defensively sound. And maybe he needs to work on that, because, I mean, he does need to work on it, right? He's still a young guy, but he definitely needs to work on that, because Kamaka was piecing him up a bit on the face. But Luke Riley, man, had a shot for every shot that was thrown at him. You know, a couple leg kicks were getting there from Riley, and all of a sudden, Riley hits Kamaka with a straight right hand. Kamaka goes down immediately, was still somehow with it. I don't know how. They're throwing major shots. Riley timed a perfect knee as Kamaka put his head down. And that was it. That was the fight. That was round 1. And Rogan and Cormier were nonstop complaining about that being an early stoppage. I don't think so. Kai Kamaka was looking like a noodle out there, waving all around. He was not with it. He would have been put out cold, face first to the canvas, if the ref didn't stop that fight. Amazing win from Luke Riley. Looking forward to see what happens with him moving forward. Lock of the card for me. I was 3-1 so far here with locks. Another lock on the card. Nasty fight, and this is a simple summary of this fight with Cody Garbrandt versus Adrian Yanez. Cody Garbrandt blitzes in, and Yanez just catches him. Not once, not twice, but 3 times on separate occasions. But the third time, rocked Cody Garbrandt and put his eyes to the back of his head. Maybe one was like looking over to like the concession stands, but it was nasty. Yanez has serious power at 135, and Cody Garbrandt somehow kind of stayed with it. He was out, but he kind of stays with it. He tried to go for a knee up the middle in the clinch, and Yanez hits him with a left hook, right hook, and another punch before Cody Garbrandt face plants to the canvas, as I said would happen. I said it was going to happen early round 2. It happened early round 1 because I did not expect Cody Garbrandt to come out like an idiot like he did. He literally ran into shots. Don't know why he did that, and he also retired, it looks like, but they didn't give him any mic time. We move on. Another lock in the card. A little bit kind of sketchy, to be quite honest. Gable Steveson, the most touted prospect ever to come into the UFC, versus Elijah Ellison. And Elijah Ellison was cracking him a couple times. He hit him with a nasty elbow while Gable Steveson came in. But other than that, Gable Steveson, oh, by the way, Elijah Ellison named the Snack Panther. I don't know why we allow stuff like that, but anyway, Gable Steveson comes out. You can tell he's been training with John Jones, because the dude was throwing oblique kicks right away, throwing side kicks to the body, teeps to the body, and that really helped him. Really gassed out Ellison. Steveson did, I think, hit him in the groin. They stopped the fight for a little bit, and then Gable Steveson came right back at him. And those dudes were throwing bombs to each other. Ellison was game, to be honest. He just obviously doesn't have any sort of skill compared to Gable Steveson. But Steveson looks better on the feet than I thought, man. We haven't even seen his wrestling yet, so it's kind of a dangerous prospect to look at, as we expected him to be. But yeah, teep kicks were a massive factor in this. Gable Steveson hits him with a massive left hook, right straight on the jaw, knees in the clinch, more shots following up, and that's it. Not a flawless performance from him, but still a great finish. Got it done in round 1. We're going to see what happens moving forward. Moving on. Robert Whittaker versus Nikita Krylov. Thank you, Robert Whittaker, because I was terrified going into this fight. I did not want to see Rob Whittaker submitted. I did not want to see him knocked out, and I did not want to see him get his ass whooped in this fight. And he did the opposite. He did look a little slow after round 1. But what happened was Nikita Krylov came out and immediately pressed the pace on him and tried to make him grapple. There was a moment in round 1 in the beginning of this where Krylov looked like he was going to get a rear naked choke, and I was having flashbacks, traumatic flashbacks of what Chimaev did to Robert Whittaker. Because like I said, we all know he has this like dental issue. It's like his jaw's messed up. So I was worried immediately. Robert gets back up. He was so much faster on the feet than Krylov. Krylov looked like he was getting surprised by how quick Whittaker's shots were coming at him. Whittaker kept stinging him on the feet, man. He kept stinging him on the face. 1-2s, 1-2 with a high kick. Just typical Robert Whittaker stuff that we always have seen from him when he was doing his middleweight run. Karate blitzes coming in and just tagging you, and with 3-punch combinations of variance, just amazing. Robert Whittaker gets this done. Early round 3. And you could tell he was building into himself as the fight got on. He definitely slowed his pace down a bit. Maybe it's because of the weight that he's at, moving up to 205. But he got it done the way he always gets it done, except he got a nasty finish because he eventually connects on Krylov's face with a straight right down the pipe, and it breaks Krylov's jaw. And you see his jaw go to his like shoulder, basically. I exaggerate a bit, but his jaw was so dislodged that he quits standing up. Waves the fight off. The ref then waves it off. Robert Whittaker wins by impressive fashion. Worried about future fights at 205? Yes. Am I happy he got at least one win on the International Fight Week at 205? Absolutely. Thank God that did not end bad. Thank God. So yeah. So going into the main card, I was 8-1, and then we get to Terrance McKinney versus King Green. Amazing way to start off the main card. I had Terrance McKinney as a lock on this because I thought Bobby Green with his hands down wasn't going to be able to catch McKinney because McKinney is that fast. Granted, the first 4.5 minutes of this fight, Terrance McKinney cut Bobby Green open, was stinging him nonstop. Green was not moving around at all. He was up against the cage. McKinney's throwing powerful shots, eventually gets him down. He's up against like the corner of the cage. And Bobby Green is not, he's fully mounted on the back. He can't get McKinney off of him. McKinney's raining down blows. And eventually you can just see McKinney says to himself, like, oh, I'm tiring out. I'm going to try to go for a choke. And after that happens, Bobby Green felt that as well. He's hitting McKinney from behind him, calling him a bitch, which is hilarious. An absolutely amazing thing to do. We love it as fans. And you can see McKinney kind of gassing. Bobby Green eventually works his way up and then hits him. To be honest, he hit him like twice. He grazed him. He threw I think it was a body shot with his fist, and it grazed the elbow of McKinney, and McKinney just falls down. That's it. Falls down. Bobby Green starts following up. Fight gets called in the last second of round one. It's an amazing win from King Green. It's absolutely amazing what he did. But at the same time, it's so pathetic for Terrance McKinney to really have nothing but a round in him, especially after dominating him for 4.5 minutes where there was really no scrambling going on. He was in dominant position entirely in that first round until the very end when they got up, and he just stopped. He just folded. Like, it wasn't like Bobby Green hit him with a shot and then he folded. He just went down. So kind of pathetic from him. It sucks because you see him, rising. You see him bringing in attention to him because of the way he fights. And then stuff like that happens. And it just kills everything. Anyway, that was the lock of the card that lost, as well as Tracy Cortez, which is, I deserve that. I was an idiot for that. 5-2 on locks on this card. We move on. Amazing win from King Green. We move on. Lonnie Kavanagh versus Brandon Royval. Fight of the night, no doubt. No doubt. Fight of the night. Brandon Royval immediately in the first round takes control of the octagon, takes the center of it, exchanging on the feet, is tagging Kavanagh as he pleases without getting hit. Just amazing. Working behind the jab as a lanky dude at flyweight. He did so well in this fight. He was being so technical. And then the first round was honestly perfect. It wasn't 10-8 perfect, but it could have been if there was a little bit more damage to Kavanagh, I think, because that's how good Royval was doing on the feet against Kavanagh. He had everything for Kavanagh, and Kavanagh had nothing for him. And then with 1.5 minutes left, Royval gets a takedown on Kavanagh. And Kavanagh, I immediately start being concerned for my pick of Kavanagh because he jumps the ghillie as Royval's trying to take him down. So I immediately knew he's not comfortable. He doesn't have any confidence. Why fighters jump the guillotine, as Dustin Poirier would say. You do it in sparring. It does not work in actual fighting. So don't do it. Unless you're somebody like Paddy Pimblett, who we'll get into soon. But just Royval constantly steps ahead. Round 1 was amazing. Perfect round for him. Round 2 begins, and then Royval starts touching him up again. You think it's going to be the same old, same old. And a minute and a half in, Kavanagh catches him flush on the chin. Royval goes down. Kavanagh had a nasty just slip of the head, rip to the face, and Royval somehow stays with it after being knocked on his ass. Credit to him. Kavanagh was hitting him with really powerful ground and pound shots. Royval gets back to the feet somehow with like a minute left. Throws an elbow. Oh, I'm sorry. Gets back up to the feet. Kavanagh throws an elbow to the back of the head, basically. Granted, Royval did kind of turn into it, but that happens. Royval still fights through it and gets a takedown with a minute left against Kavanagh. It was so impressive. How he, regrouped that fast and then was able to get a takedown. Now, obviously didn't win him the round, but we go 1-1 into the third round. The pace of this fight, it was like watching a fight on 2x speed. That's the only way I can explain it. It was like I was double timing watching a fight. These dudes were throwing so fast, so much. Grappling exchanges were fast. Everything about this fight was fast. And they're they're hitting each other. They're causing damage by round 2. And they're still just moving. Amazing fight. Round 3 begins, like I said, 1-1. Royval and Kavanagh both catch each other in the first 30 seconds of the round. Just ridiculous. You thought like the first 2 rounds were good. Within 30 seconds of round 3 is better than the entire fight. One gets rocked, one recovers, and it's rinse and repeat for both fighters. Royval gets a takedown, nasty elbows, eventually, nasty ground and pound, almost has Kavanagh in an arm triangle. Kavanagh fights out of it. Eventually, Royval transitions to the back and gets the rear naked choke in. Absolutely amazing fight and performance from Brandon Royval. Completely proved me wrong. I didn't think he was necessarily done. I just thought he has issues against fighters like Kavanagh. And Kavanagh did well in this fight as well. He absolutely can do better in some areas. But Royval put the pace on Kavanagh immediately, which was what he needed to do. And he did it. And he did it to perfection outside of getting clipped. So, incredible. One of the best fights of the year, if not the best fight of the year. The flyweights are so technical. They're so fun to watch. It's a shame that they're not really that known yet by like the more casuals of the world. But after Royval got smoked in round 2, dominates in round 3. Amazing win. And I think he called out Asu Almabayev. Let's see it. We move on. Cory Sandhagen versus Mario Bautista. Kind of brought a little bit of a damper to the card. The momentum of the card was just rolling. There was 2 decisions before this, and then this ended up being a decision, which I thought it was going to be. I predicted a split decision for Mario Bautista, and to be honest, I thought that's what was going to happen. Round 1, Bautista throws a head kick immediately, doesn't really hit him. Sandhagen somewhat wobbles Mario with a clean left hook. You can see Mario definitely was damaged from it. A little bit of clinching. They go back to the center of the cage after that. Sandhagen's pressing his pace like he always does. Mario is grazing Cory pretty much throughout the first round. The last 30 seconds of the first round, a big exchange happens, and then Mario catches Cory a bit, shoots a takedown, and it doesn't look like it's all that damn, like there's going to be that much of a threat. All of a sudden, he looks like he's out of nowhere. You see Sandhagen's leg is kind of extended and it's in a really bad position. I don't necessarily know if Bautista was going for a Suliev stretch, but he was in such an awkward position and he saw Sandhagen's knee there and he just started cranking on it. I think Sandhagen won this round. And I also think that because I don't think many people noticed that when Sandhagen gets up, he buckles on his knee. And it's absolutely from Bautista cranking on it. But it was such a quick an awkward position that they were in. It wasn't a fully locked in submission or anything. And I just felt like maybe the judges didn't really see that, because Sandhagen won the round, I think, on strikes. Round 2 begins. Cory is absolutely compromised on the left leg. Still, though, he's able to miss shot. He's able to make Mario miss. He's kind of winning on the feet against Mario, to be honest, in round 2 with a wobbly left leg, which is incredible from Sandhagen. He's a tough guy. We all know Sandhagen. And doesn't have much movement going on, but Mario still can't capitalize on it. Mario looks like he's slowing down himself. He looks like his pace isn't being put down. Sandhagen's defending takedowns fine, even on one leg, basically. And he looks slower, but he's fine. Sandhagen's sticking jabs in round 2. Mario throws his own, but looks like a lot of the power is gone. Cory's putting volume on him. Defending takedowns still throughout round 2. And it wasn't until the last 5 seconds where Mario Bautista says, I'm going to low kick your leg that's compromised. Just weird IQ sometimes from fighters. But round 3 starts, you hear Cory's corners talking about, like, we need to be stubborn here. We need to make sure that we're balanced. We know the leg is compromised. And Mario finally catches him in round 3, knocks him down, which was a big thing that I said in this fight. I thought Sandhagen might cut him open. Obviously, nobody can predict when an injury like this happens. If you know what happened in the main event, you just can't predict these things. But anyway, I really thought that Mario was just going to not do anything, and Cory was just going to do the same thing he did in round 2. And as soon as I was thinking that, Mario catches him, and follow-up shots. Sandhagen scrambles, threatens a leg lock, gets up from it again in a tremendous heart from Cory Sandhagen, and eventually gets his own takedown. Mario again just continues to look for the grappling. Why? I don't know. I thought maybe after you put somebody down that you can keep trying to fight and punch them and not try to take them down. But eventually Cory got a takedown the last 30 seconds because they were scrambling back and forth. And Mario gets an elbow. Oh, I'm sorry. Cory cracks Mario with an elbow. And Mario kind of takes him down at the last very second of the round. I had a 2-1 go. I'm not even kidding. I had a 2-1 going to Cory Sandhagen. Maybe I'm insane. But I just thought, even though Mario was mixing in the grappling well, I really was going off of the fact that I wasn't guaranteeing that the judges were looking at round 1 for Mario, because I thought Sandhagen won the first round. The second round even was questionable. It was the third round that Mario gets this knockdown. He wins by unanimous decision, and it was 30-27, 30-27, 29-28. So, and I can see it. I'm not saying it was a robbery or anything. It was a close fight. But I was surprised it wasn't a split decision, to be honest. I saw at the end of the fight, towards the end of the fight, that it was an 88% probability that Bautista wins from Polymarket. So, yeah, I don't know. I was watching the fight every second of it. I just thought I guess I was in another world. But the leg being compromised of Cory obviously is a huge thing. Damage won Mario Bautista this fight, which is what I said was going to happen. But I thought it was going to be a split decision. I thought Bautista was going to get knockdowns, and because of that, he was going to win the fight. Because Sandhagen just doesn't have that power unless he hits something dynamic on you. So, great, I wouldn't say it's a great fight, but Bautista gets the win. He's moving on. He calls for a title shot. There's no way he's getting a title shot. He needs to do something impressive. Beating Cory Sandhagen is impressive. He needs to get a finish in the top 5, and then we'll talk title shot. Oh, Paddy the Baddie. This fight I felt like it was, what did I have here? 75% confidence level. And that's a shame that I did, because this fight was so easy to predict, I felt like. We knew that Saint Denis was going to come forward. We know that he's going to try to crack Paddy on the chin. And Paddy's chin isn't able to be cracked. And we knew if Saint Denis goes to the ground, that Paddy Pimblett is worlds above him. And Saint Denis, I said this in the prediction, leaves his head out when he goes for takedowns. They are so sloppy. Dominic Cruz was talking about Saint Denis being so technical. What are you talking about, Dom? What are you talking about? Saint Denis strikes not all that technical. He's kind of loose on his striking. He's looping shots. And then his ground game, unless he is on top, he doesn't know what to do. I'm going to be real. He doesn't know what to do. He is sloppy, and he always will be sloppy. And it's probably the same reason why he gets staph infection all the time, even though I don't think he gets staph. But it's funny that that is literally always a thing with him. He shoots immediately in this fight in round one. He shoots in on Paddy Pimblett. He punches Paddy a couple times, shoots in on him. Immediately, Paddy Pimblett jumps on the guillotine. He's the only one that possibly could do that. He transitions it to a Darce, squeezes the life out of Saint Denis. Leaves him face first on the canvas, laying there like he's sleeping. Paddy on the ground cannot be beat. I don't see anybody outside of the likes of like Islam Makhachev controlling Paddy Pimblett on the ground. Obviously, they're different divisions, but you know what I mean. It is insane. I would love to see Charles Oliveira, Paddy Pimblett. I would like to see that fight. Two chins. I mean, Charles's chin, he gets knocked down a lot, but he's always fighting. Their ground games, they have to be equivalent at this point. I've seen a lot from Paddy Pimblett to believe that he might even be better on the ground than Oliveira, which is a crazy thing to say. Let me see that fight. Maybe even for the BMF if you want, to be honest. That is incredible stuff. Incredible jiu-jitsu from Paddy Pimblett. Again, leaves Benoit Saint Denis flat on the mat. Chokes him out. Chokes the life out of him out. Easy work. Easy pick. Amazing from Paddy Pimblett. I feel like I'm going to get a lot of shit. Because I'm laughing. Like in my head, throughout this whole video, I'm laughing. It's obvious who I wanted to win. I wanted Max Holloway to win. I have nothing against McGregor. But what just occurred? All I can think of is he deserves it. And I don't know why. I have nothing against him. I don't care. I don't think he really has done anything that bad outside of partying. That's not even bad. He just parties. When you're a billionaire, you know, I mean, I guess he might not even be a billionaire. He's probably just high millions. We know he has so much money. That's kind of what you do. We all know who he is. But man, leading up to this fight, the disrespect towards Max Holloway, and I know McGregor talks his shit, but Max Holloway is deserving of respect from Conor McGregor. And the whole time, I didn't want to say this. I was so superstitious with this fight. I saw a post from the UFC talking about how the older fighters are, I think it was 6-0. However main events there have been that are numbered main events this year, it was the older fighter who was undefeated. And I thought, you got to be kidding me. Shit like that always throws my head off. And I'm sitting here thinking, oh my God, please, the entire fight card, I'm thinking, please, Max Holloway, win this fight. I cannot have another event like the White House card where it just doesn't make sense to me. The world doesn't make sense. And it hasn't made sense since that White House card for me. And if McGregor was to win this fight, I would have probably put myself into a place where I could just reminisce and ruminate and try to come back to sanity. Because coming back from 5 years off after what this man has done outside of the cage, and then coming back also against Max Holloway, who is still elite at fighting, which some people saying he's washed. Had a dude saying that he's going to bet his house on Conor McGregor to win this fight. He's homeless now. Hope you like that cardboard box, buddy. The Blessed Express. Choo-choo. Moving on. You missed the train. And all these people are going to come at me and say, oh, there wasn't even a fight. Max Holloway was going to piece this dude up, man. I am so... as soon as I saw Mohawk McGregor in the locker room, there was no way McGregor was going to win this fight. I did say in the first 10 seconds of this fight that he was going to throw something stupid. He was going to throw something that immediately tries to make him believe that he controls the octagon. That's what he does in his fights. He comes out, he throws a spinning heel kick, he throws a flying knee. I didn't know what it was going to be. He chose a flying kick as if he was Neo in the Matrix. And as soon as he did it and fell, I thought this just shows how washed he is. Honestly, the walkout itself, you could kind of tell he was washed. It might maybe because he had a mohawk. I don't know why you choose a mohawk, dude. And I was telling myself again, the world will not make sense if a dude with a mohawk wins the main event. I don't care if he's Conor McGregor. We can't have that. We can't have that. Mohawk McGregor throws a flying kick, lands on his right knee or his right leg, and the right knee just buckles. ACL torn, MCL torn probably. Almost everything in his knee is probably torn. Why you do such a dynamic movement like that after not being in the cage for 5 years? God knows what he's been doing in the training room. I guarantee it wasn't that. I just guarantee he never threw a flying kick at a sparring partner of his. And all I can think about is he deserves it, man. The entire fight card, entire fight buildup, I'm hearing this dude talk about God, how he's a new person, and I'm thinking, how is nobody sitting here saying this isn't McGregor? That's not him. The double champ does what he wants. He apologizes to no one. He's out here being grateful. He's out here, outside of Max Holloway, he's respecting everybody. It made no sense. And he always is going to be able to build up a fight. Always. It makes no sense how people thought he wasn't going to be washed, to be honest. Come at me all you want. It was so obvious. The body language, the way he was coming in. And I was just praying, like I said, that Max Holloway wins the fight because it just feels like nothing has made sense this year. This made sense. This brought everything back into reality. The Blessed Express moves on. They're talking about a third fight. He's not coming back. I don't think he's coming back. It sucks. I hate seeing an athlete's body give out on them. Don't get me wrong. I was an athlete myself. I do not want to see a body injury like that take out somebody. But with him specifically, it makes too much sense that happened. It makes too much sense. I am so curious to know because it looks like he wobbled going into the before he entered the cage and they Vaseline you up and everything. They were showing it on the broadcast. He looked like he stumbled getting out of his shoes. And he's not that old. So I want to know, he walked out of the cage, didn't give an interview, which to me tells me he did not have an injury before this. I don't know. The biggest letdown of a main event, of a numbered pay-per-view, whatever you want to call it, the biggest letdown in the UFC history. The biggest comeback has turned into the biggest letdown in all of UFC's history. Because he came out and threw a flying kick. I don't even want to see the third fight. I don't think anybody wants to see the third fight. It felt cringe, honestly, when Holloway said that, and there's nobody in the stands. I mean, everybody's so pissed off. It had such momentum. The momentum came back after Paddy Pimblett, and it just died. It just went away. But I find it hilarious, man. I really do. Overall, 11-3 on the card. The checklist went 10-4 because I chose against Sandhagen, and I ended up being right. The locks were 5-2 on the card. I'll never pick a women's fighter again to be a lock unless it's Bia Mesquita. McKinney's the other one that lost that I said was a lock. Maybe when I calm down, because there was so much adrenaline going into this, I'll be depressed. But I'm just so happy that Max is the one who, you know, obviously he wins. It's not like he knocked him out or anything. It's just reality is back. You know, I can take a breath. So, thank God. Thank God. UFC 329 International Fight Week doesn't end the way we thought it would, but the card was great. Outside of maybe 2 fights, the card was really good. A lot of finishes, and yeah, amazing night. A little bit of a letdown at the end there, but what are you going to do? It is what it is.